Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. Today, I am going to share the Paizo Preview for May 2024. Yes, all of these items are arriving in your friendly local game store on May 22nd. And we are going to kick off with the Pathfinder Flip Mat Treasure Trove. This carries an MSRP of $19.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $9.99. Swing on over to the other camera to get started, because here we've got Treasure Trove. And I am going to get rid of the shrink wrap. Had to point out all of this stuff just showed up. Pretty excited. We've got some big releases this month we're going to be taking a peek at in just a few moments. First of all, a wealth of riches. To some, adventuring is all about collecting treasure. With Pathfinder Flip Mat Treasure Trove, the party can take home rich rewards. This flip mat presents two treasure-laden locations for adventurers to plunder. One side shows a fortified temple vault protecting priceless relics, while the other is a secluded cavernous lair of a dragon or other large, covetous beast. Spread this map out at your table and enrich the adventure. All right, so let's take a peek. And as I like to always point out, if you happen to play skirmish-level miniatures games, these flip mats work very nicely for those too. So it looks like this is going to be the layer. And this is 3 panels by 3 panels. So here's our pile of gold. Got some chests there too. And then this is going to be our temple complex. Kind of taking a peek at this here. Some rooms throughout on each of the sides. So it looks like this is a barracks area here. Very cool. Very nice. Once again, this is the Pathfinder Flip Mat Treasure Trove. All right, now we're going to take a peek at one of the big releases I know a lot of people are very excited about, and it is Howl of the Wild, which is a 224-page hardcover. There are loads of authors, so I'm not going to go through reading all of their names. We will take a peek at that credit page in just a moment. Now, the 224-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $64.99. There is a special edition if you want to grab that. It's kind of got an embossed look to it. But we are taking a look at the standard edition. And of course, you can also grab the PDF for $19.99. So here is Howl of the Wild. Let's take a look at the back here. A wild adventure. Join a curious naturalist and his eccentric crew crossing continents in their fantastic airship, cataloging the world's most fantastic creatures. Along the expedition, players will find new character options and bring their wildest characters to life, from new ancestries like the strong Minotaur or magical merfolk, to awesome spells and ferocious archetypes, to new animal companions and gear forged from the scales and fangs of mythical beasts. GMs can look forward to a veritable menagerie to unleash on their players, containing animals, expansions on classic monsters, and never-before creatures from every corner of the Age of Lost Omens campaign setting. Very nice. Let's dive on in. It's kind of a cool map to open up with. So here's our credit page. So as I mentioned, we've got lots of authors and, of course, plenty of artists as well. So all these fine folks work together to bring this volume to fruition. Now, I know a lot of folks are very excited about Howl of the Wild because we've got a lot of player-facing content including new species, new archetypes, new backgrounds. So pretty exciting stuff here. And to my understanding, there's kind of an underlying story to this release where it's the crew of the Zoetrope, which is going and cataloging different creatures and things like that, which kind of funny enough, we saw one of the bestiaries for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay kind of have that same approach where there was this underlying fiction of this group of explorers going and cataloging monsters. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So here we've got this. That's going to kick us off. Then we get into our new ancestries. And I do believe each of these new ancestries have a crew member of the Zoetrope as well. So we have got the Athamaru, awakened animal, centaur, merfolk, minotaur, and circi. I think the circi are insectoids. So we've got some new special rules for large PCs and tiny PCs and riding PCs. That would be the centaur, right? So let's see what we've got. Oh, okay. So here are those characters of each of the species. I do want to point out, we're not going to look at each and every page of the volumes we're taking a peek at today, but I do want to give you a really good feel for what you're going to find inside these releases. Also important to keep in mind that the fine folks over at Paizo Inc. were kind enough to provide me with these review copies, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. Should also mention, I am going to be reviewing Howl of the Wild, so we are not going to take a really deep dive into this during this Paizo preview. Now, as far as the latest Adventure Path release and the Starfinder adventure, Sammy is going to review those. So we will take a little bit of a deeper dive into those because those reviews will be written reviews. So you're not going to get much of a peek inside, whereas my Howl of the Wild will be a video review. So we've got the centaur. Looks like we've got a few pages devoted to each of these. So we had 6 there. Then we got merfolk, the minotaur. Get a breakdown of their physical descriptions, their society, their belief system. Got some heritages. We've got ancestry feats. And then we move in to the next. So this is that insectoid circi. Says, circes are an insectile species who subsist on the latent magic in the world around them. Oh, that's kind of cool. So a little bit of breakdown here too. Their ancestry feats. Some artwork of the crew in action, it looks like. So we have some new spells, warden spells, and ranger options. This is techniques and tricks is this section here. So it appears this is going to be player facing. So we've got the Beast Master archetype, the Claw Dancer, Hostili Host. I like the artwork throughout. Really nicely done. Looks pretty uniform too. I say it all the time. I really do like the Pathfinder 2nd edition artwork. And of course, this is designed for Pathfinder 2nd edition remastered. Important to keep that in mind. Got quite a lot of archetypes here. And a bit of the fiction continuing. Looks like we're going to get into kind of a bestiary here. So here's our animal companions. Looks like we've got a few of those. A rock. Oh, that'd be pretty wild. That'd be pretty wild to have a rock as your animal companion because those things are massive. They're gargantuan. Beast armor and armaments. Looks like we've got some new gear here. Alchemical items. It says big game siege weapons. The blob paste propulsor. Okay, back to the fiction. Some creature adjustments. So amphibious adjustments, frostbound, miniature, sandbound, twinned, and weak. We're going to get into a bit of a bestiary here, which are going to have some new creatures as well as some new aspects of creatures. So here we've got chimeras. There we go. So there's the chimera here. Ah, I see. So it's going to give us a bunch of new options as far as chimera heads. A hippogriff, snapping turtle, cave worm, screeching rock, some new dinosaurs. Very cool. I think we're going to have a pretty decent amount of the page count devoted to the bestiary here. Here we've got the Hydra, some different kinds of Hydras. The Marp. While many creatures hunger after gold, the blue-furred Marp literally eats their precious metal as a vital part of their diet. Okay. The Sky Fisher. The unicorn, different kinds of unicorns here. There's our alicorn. It's kind of like a Pegasus with the horn. Were creatures, the were moose, were shark. And that looks like this is going to wrap things up. Warden of Caverns and Burrows. I think these are mythical creatures, maybe, or maybe possibly kind of deific. So here is the conclusion of our fiction. Should get a glossary and index. Well, there's our glossary. Oh, we get a map of the zoetrope. Cool. Very nice. So that is Howl of the Wild. Once again, this is arriving in stores on May 22nd. This 224-page hardcover, the standard edition, carries an MSRP of $64.99. Or you can grab just the PDF alone for $19.99. So pretty nice deal on that PDF. Next up, we are going to be taking a look at the Pathfinder Adventure Path number 202, Severed at the Root. This is part 2 of the 3-part Wardens of Wildwood Adventure Path. It is written by Jessica Catalan, John Compton, and Alexi Greer. Now, this softcover carries an MSRP of $26.99. You can grab the PDF alone for $19.99. And as I mentioned, these just arrived. Let's take this out of its folder. So these always arrive in these folders here to protect them. I'm going to take a guess this is going to clock in at about 96 pages or so. That's usually what our Adventure Path chapters tend to clock in at. A woodland at war. Under surprising new leadership, the Wildwood Lodge begins a campaign of violence. The PCs and their shocked allies must deny the Lodge a powerful relic and investigate the strange primal magic their enemies have uncovered. To prevail, the PCs need to track down one of the Verduran Forest's most dangerous inhabitants and convince her to aid their cause. The Wardens of Wildwood Adventure Path continues with Severed at the Root, a complete adventure for 8th to 10th level characters. As I had mentioned, Sammy is reviewing this adventure path. So those are written reviews. I do expect her review of the first chapter in the next couple of days or so, or might even pop up before I get this video out, so keep that in mind. But stay tuned because Sammy will have a review of the first chapter as well as this chapter. Keep in mind, this is an adventure. And the next release we're going to take a look at is also an adventure, but that is for Starfinder. Of course, if you're a player and your game master is going to be running Wardens of Wildwood, maybe they've already kicked off the campaign, by all means, I definitely recommend tune out now. You don't need surprises ruined simply because you're watching this video. Even though I know nothing about what's in this book, you just saw me take it out of the little folder. There's going to be some spoilers as we take a peek through. All right. Let's jump on in here. So we've got our credits. Make sure we give folks the recognition they deserve. Looks like we've got 3 chapters in this tale here. So just a little quick background on what was going on in the first adventure from what I could tell when I shared a bit of a preview last month is that the player characters find this group, which of course this adventure path is going to tie in with Howl of the Wild very nicely. But they find this group, and it is a wilderness adventure, and they're kind of druidic in nature, especially the leader of this group. And things take a turn for the worse, and these folks want to kind of eliminate any sort of human or demi-human presence in the wilds. And that is basically what takes place in the first chapter. As we saw in the information on the back of the book, looks as if the player characters are going to set off into the wilderness, and it looks like they are looking to track down a particular individual, probably a fairly big bad, and try to get them on their side as opposed to assisting their enemies. Shadow of the Dragon. So we're just taking a peek through here. Looks like we've got quite a bit going on. Of course, we should have the stat blocks and all the info for the major NPCs in the back. That's kind of cool. We got, this must be the Green Man here with some Leshy. That's kind of cool. So Green Man Fates. So it looks as if this might be another religion. Could be. That's pretty wild. We've got some new, these new spells? No, Unfettered Growth. The Plane of Wood is a plane forgotten, a secret lost to time and faded into obscurity. Alluded to in only the most obscure legends, now the Plane of Wood is returning and its influence is spreading. As a tree spreads its roots far beyond its trunk, so too does the Plane of Wood spread its vitality and magic to planes and worlds beyond. Aha, so these are ancestry feats we just saw there. Then, of course, we're going to move on into our adventure toolbox. So we've got some new items, maybe some new spells. Let's see. Well, looks like items there. Well, no new spells, but we do have some entries for our bestiary, the Wood Blessed, the Purifier, Wood Warp, and here is the first of our major NPCs. We usually have 2 write-ups. There you go. There's our other write-up. Cosprickle, Sadistic Bully. It's pretty wild. And then we'll wrap up with what's coming up, as well as some ads. Very cool. Very nice. So that is the second chapter in Wardens of Wildwood, Severed at the Root. Once again, this softcover, what was it? What was our page count here? 96, like I thought. It carries an MSRP of $26.99. You can grab just the PDF alone for $19.99. The final item we're going to take a peek at is Starfinder Mechageddon. This is a self-contained adventure path. It's clocking in at 184 pages. This also has a special edition if you want to grab it, but we are taking a peek at the standard edition, which carries an MSRP of $59.99. You can grab just the PDF alone for $39.99. Let's take a peek. I understand this has mecha in it, so this is a mech adventure path, which is pretty cool. I also believe that this might be the final adventure path for first edition Starfinder, because at Gen Con, we are going to see the release of the playtest volume for Starfinder second edition. And then, of course, the game plan is for Gen Con 2025. We shall see Starfinder second edition. It's pretty interesting that it looks like Paizo Inc. is going to take a break from Starfinder Adventures to come out. I would not be shocked if we see some playtest adventures for Starfinder second edition to pop up in the next year plus. Suit up, save the world. On a rugged world crawling with colossi, terrifying kaiju that demolish cities with fearsome power, courageous mech pilots battle monsters to protect the planet's people. As the war for control of planet Dimelco rages on, a mysterious third power plots to use an ancient artifact to purge the planet of all life. It's time for Dimelco's defenders to suit up against a new threat. This 184-page hardcover campaign tells the story of rookie mech pilots on Dimelco, starting out as city defenders and venturing to the stars as the heroes become galactic celebrities. This epic campaign spans levels 3 to 18 and features new mechs, bonus adventures designed to slot into the campaign as interludes or stand on their own as one-shots, mech-sized maps, and more. Mechageddon is an exciting introduction to mech combat and the Starfinder role-playing game, packed with adventure content and new rules that you can use to build the ultimate mech campaign. Gotta say, I'm kind of surprised that they don't kick this off at first level. It's starting off with third level characters. A little surprised by that, but that's okay. All right. So loads of authors, loads of artists. I want to make sure that we do give these folks credit for working very hard on this volume. So we're going to get a breakdown of Mechageddon. So we're going to get our introduction. Looks like quite a few chapters to this. We've got some side jobs, it looks like. That's how we're going to wrap up. So we're going to get info about running our campaign, creating characters, mechs, downtime roleplay, milestone levels. Once again, if you are a Starfinder player and your game master has picked this up, or I should say ordered it because it's not out in stores yet, definitely recommend tune out now. Even though I only know what I read on the back of the book, we're going to see some spoilers. Colossus Crash, an adventure for third level PCs. After spending a year and a half training with the new Valor Defense Force, the PCs and their fellow cadets are mustered into squadrons and tested in a variety of simulations to evaluate their strengths and weaknesses. The PCs get a chance to name their squadron and select their call signs before battle. The PCs engage in a final test at the proving grounds where they fight Dimelco's colossi for the first time. All right. I wonder if this is our commander there. Or maybe it's a rival squadron because it says Tempest Squadron there. Once again, Sammy Uhas will be reviewing this adventure. So I see we've got an anime sort of art style with some of these characters. So we have 5 parts to this, I think, 5 chapters. These are some pretty large maps. As you see, 1 square equals 15 feet. Yeah, these portraits really are anime inspired, you can tell. So then we have Chains of Fame. With their popularity as the heroes of the day in New Valor growing, the PCs are selected for a special joint program run by Apex and the New Valor Defense Force. So you got part 1, Heroes on Duty. I talk about Starfinder from time to time, and I have to say that as far as a science fantasy role-playing game, it is extremely well done. I talk about it all the time, too. If you want Starfinder to just simply be a science fiction role-playing game, you can make it a science fiction role-playing game. It's not that difficult to tweak certain things about the setting so that it's more of a science fiction role-playing game as opposed to a science fantasy game. But I talk about this all the time, that if you are a gamer who really likes to have a ton of options available to you as far as your character creation, look no further than Starfinder, because outside of maybe GURPS, this is a game that has just practically limitless options as far as your characters, because there are probably more species in Starfinder that you can use as player characters than just about any other role-playing game that I can think of right off the top of my head. So now we're into the 13th hour. Next up is going to be Heroes of Valor. Once more unto the abyss. Once more unto the breach, my friends. But I believe this adventure path takes the player characters away from the planet, and they actually, I think they become more along the lines of galactic defenders. It's the Wabu. I've seen this artwork previously when I was sharing news for Mechageddon. It's pretty cool. Wabus are one of the few native species that thrive after Demelku's awakening, helped along by Xeno-Warden efforts. Since they travel by rolling, Wabus are often mistaken for furry tumbleweeds until their manifold eyes pop open. Thanks to their cuteness and usefulness as lookouts, Wabus are popular pets on Demelku. Wabus use the creature companion rules in Alien Archive 3. Nice. Okay. So I thought Heroes of Valor was going to be another chapter, but it is not. It is actually a bestiary. So they are Heroes of Valor, and then we're going to follow up with Enemies of Valor. So here are new mech rules. Have some weapon templates there too. Here's our Enemies of Valor. So we're going to get our Colossi, our Kaiju, as well as our other threats. Some evil NPCs, or just NPCs that are going to be in the player character's way. Well, looks like we've got a demonic influence in this adventure path. Here's some side jobs. So a couple of pages on each of the side jobs, it looks like. Then we're going to wrap up with the open game license. Won't be seeing that for long. And ports of call, as well as interstellar species. All right, very nice. So that is a peek inside Mechageddon, which is for Starfinder. This is a self-contained adventure path, and to my knowledge, will be the final adventure path for Starfinder First Edition. Once again, this 184-page hardcover, the standard edition that we took a peek at, does carry an MSRP of $59.99. You can grab just the PDF alone for $39.99. All right, that is a look at what is arriving in stores this month from Paizo Inc. for both Pathfinder and Starfinder. Once again, I will have a review of Howl of the Wild, and Sammy is going to be reviewing the second chapter of the Wardens of Wildwood adventure path, as well as Mechageddon. So stay tuned for those. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this month's Paizo Preview, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.